to his beat. The great fashionable squares overawed him with their beautiful carriages, their matched pairs of liveried footmen and armies of servants. He found himself tongue-tied when he was required to speak to them, the magisterial butlers, the irascible cooks, the handsome parlour-maids. The boot-boys, the scullery-maids, and the tweenies were much more his class. When he saw the hole in the ground and the gardener's discovery, he knew it was totally beyond him, and with horror and relief told them to wait where they were, move nothing, and ran as fast as his legs would carry him to the police station to hand the whole thing over to his inspector. He burst into the office, abandoning his manners in the excitement. "Mr. Pitt, sir! Mr. Pitt! There's been a dreadful thing, sir! A terrible thing!" Pitt was standing by the window, a big man, with long curved nose and humorous mouth. He was plain to a degree, and quite incredibly untidy, but there was intelligence and wit in his face. He raised his eyebrows at the constable's precipitate entrance, and when he spoke, his voice was beautiful. "What sort of dreadful thing, Macbeth?" The constable gasped. He could not utter a coordinated sentence for his lack of breath. "A body, sir, in Callander Square. Pitiful, sir, it is. They just found it now. The gardeners dug it up, in the middle, planting a tree or something." Pitt's face puckered in surprise. "Callander Square? Are you sure? You haven't got lost again, have you?" "Yes, sir. No, sir. Right in the middle. Callander Square, sir. I'm positive. You'd better come and see." "Buried?" Pitt frowned. "What sort of body?" "A baby, sir." Macbeth closed his eyes, and suddenly he looked quite ill. "A very small baby, sir. Like newborn, I think. Reminds me of my kid sister when she was born." Pitt breathed out very slowly, a sort of private sigh. "Sergeant Beatty," he said loudly. The door opened, and a uniformed man looked in. "Yes, sir." "Get an ambulance and Dr. Stillwell and come to Callander Square." "Someone been attacked, sir?" His face brightened. "Robbed?" "No, probably only a domestic tragedy." "A domestic tragedy?" Macbeth's voice rose in outrage. "It's murder!" Beatty stared at him. "Probably not," Pitt said calmly. "Probably some wretched servant girl seduced, kept it to herself, and gave birth alone, and the child died. She'd bury it and tell no one, nurse her grief to herself, so she wouldn't be put out on the streets with no job and no character to get another. God knows how many times it happens." Macbeth looked pale and pinched. "Do you think so, sir?" "I don't know," Pitt answered him, going toward the door. "But it wouldn't be the first time, nor the last. We'd better go and see." It took Pitt the last half-hour of daylight to look at the little body, poke round in the crumbly soil to see if there were anything else to help identify it, and find the second, misshapen, cold little body. He sent the doctor and the ambulance away with them both, and a shaking, white-faced Macbeth home to his rooms, then Beatty and his men to post guard in the gardens. There was nothing else he could do that night, until the doctor had given him some information: how old the babies had been, how long ago they had died, as near as could be estimated, and if possible what had been wrong with the second, deeper buried one, to cause that misshapen skull. It was too much to hope they could tell now from what they had died. He arrived at his own home in the dark, and the fine, clinging dampness of fog. The yellow gaslights were welcoming, promising warmth not only to the body, but to the mind and the raw, vulnerable feelings. He stepped inside with an acute sense of pleasure that nearly 2 years of marriage had not mellowed. In the spring of 1881, he had been called to the horrifying case of the Cater Street hangman, the mass murderer of young women, who garroted them and left their swollen-faced